Hey everyone, it's me, Zahara Stars. I wanted to talk a little bit about, for those of you that are Cancer rising, and the fact that you guys have currently Pluto and Saturn transiting your 7th house of marriage and partnership. This is one of the things a lot of my clients are currently asking me about, so I thought I'd do a quick video on it. I hope you guys can appreciate it. So it's important because a lot of the times, even on my site, I write about one specific transit at a time because, you know, the truth of the matter is no one transit in itself is playing out only and specifically. There are multiple transits that are occurring at the same time that will affect each transit, because although you might be going through Saturn in the 7th, you got Neptune in the 4th, or you got Uranus in the 11th, and they're all making aspects to your personal planet. So there's a lot going on. So to talk about specifically one transit, one aspect, all that stuff doesn't give you the full picture, and that's why it's always best to get a full analysis, or at least if you understand astrology, to take all things into consideration in order to understand how it's going to play out specifically to you. So with that said, each planet has an effect, okay? And Saturn is the Lord of karma, okay? So the first thing that you can understand is that karma is going to play out in your relationships, first and foremost. Now, whether it's good karma or bad karma, it really depends on how you've been handling your relationships up until now. Saturn brings an awareness, okay? Saturn rules the 10th house of legacy, fame, refinement, perfection, restrictions, blockages, all sorts of things, because he's the great teacher, okay? So he brings about restrictions, blockages to some, and he brings about maturity and refinement to others, or a combination of both together, okay? But Saturn ideally is the great teacher in terms of teaching us about whatever house he's transiting. Can be a tough teacher, doesn't listen to a lot of excuses, and he definitely turns the lens on yourself, okay, regardless of where he's transiting. In the first house, you look at yourself with the bifocals, or with, supersonic vision, and you notice all your flaws, and you're like, oh no, like I'm just, I'm old, I'm this, I'm that, whatever you see about yourself, or my personality, or my behavioral patterns, or I can't believe I behaved like this, I can't believe I did that. There's this introspective energy with Saturn where he kind of puts a mirror on you and says, look, and that way you can better perfect, refine, learn, change, all these things. That's why he's the teacher. But we can't learn all the time when we don't acknowledge, or we're not self-aware of half of the things we're doing, because we're all born into our birth charts, which is subconscious, generational influences of family, whatever, that make us who we are. And a lot of the times, unless you're a person that's constantly seeking to know thyself, you're really not gonna pay attention or understand, because a lot of our behaviors are influenced by these planetary placements, aspects, and whatnot. Our behaviors are, our personality is made up of it. So with all that said, again, sorry, Saturn transiting the 7th house is going to bring a focus on your partnerships and your relationships. So he's going to show you who people really are. He's going to give you a new lens to look at your relationships through. These are close friends, partners, marriage partners, family members even, anybody that's in your network. He's going to give you this new lens of maturity, okay, to look through. And this is what happens. Our perceptions change as we perceive through a new planetary influence. So when Saturn comes, we are looking to the outside world, to other people, to our relationships, our partnerships and people, and we have higher expectations of them, because Saturn's about perfectionism, refinement, doing the right thing, law and order, justice, karma, whatever. All of that stuff. I could go on and on about Saturn, because it's just a really powerful planet with some really great lessons, and really helps us become the best possible version of ourselves, okay? But it's through really harsh treatment, sometimes difficulty, and sometimes bad karma that just whips us into shape and says, uh-oh, I know where this is coming from. I know what happened here. I know why this is happening. So Saturn is going to make you take a hard look at your network of friends, your close friends. Sometimes what happens is he tests the relationships. Like he can have your friends going through difficult times where they're expecting a lot from you. A lot of my clients have noticed that it's really about boundaries with other people, but also effort, okay? Because Saturn wants you to work to earn your relationships with those that matter to you and make sure that it's balanced, that you're doing your part in order to maintain these relationships. And he can do this through making you feel lonely, making your friends pull away, making you pull away from your friends and go, wow, I can't believe I associated with these people. They're so immature, you know, because Saturn's about maturity. You know, they're doing these foolish things. Like, this is like, I can't believe I was doing all this stuff, or now it's time I grow up and I stop doing these things. So depending upon the network of people that you've associated with, if you've been associating with people that are higher caliber, mature, responsible, then you're not going to have this problem. You're going to grow your relationships closer. Excuse me. You're going to develop your partnerships and relationships to a closer level because you're going to be able to respect them, understand them, and work on your relationships more because you're going to want to, because you appreciate them and you value them. If they're not people that you appreciate and value, and you see it's been a one-way street, you've been giving, 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 and all they're doing is taking, you're going to see this now. And you're going to suddenly say, you know what, this isn't what I want. I need mutual give and take. It's the house of Libra, which is about balance of partnership. So Saturn's going to come in and say, are your relationships balanced? So as you put on the Saturn lens of criticism, critical eye, you're going to, and maturity, okay, maturity, you're going to see that you see things differently. Some of the things that used to bring you pleasure in the past no longer do. If you're somebody that used to play the field and just, you know, have casual relationships and flings and stuff, that's no longer going to bring you pleasure, okay? Which is really weird because a lot of people I know that were like, you know, all about, hey, just going to have fun. All of a sudden Saturn comes and it's like, I'm not having fun anymore. It doesn't feel good anymore because you're looking through this mature lens, this serious lens, this critical lens. And you're like, these just aren't doing it for me anymore. And if you are seeing somebody who is good for you, you're going to be able to pick them out of the crowd or pick them out of the many and maybe solidify a commitment and maybe say, you know what, I'd like to take things more serious with you. If you don't have anybody that you could take serious and that you've just been having fun with and all this stuff, then you're probably going to want to withdraw for a little bit and start to reevaluate what's important to you, because Saturn, again, is about maturity and about longevity and building solid foundations. He's about structure, solid foundations, all this stuff. So depending upon your karma is where this really is gonna answer your question. You know the type of person you've been in relationships, okay? If you've been somebody that's been screwing people over, okay, I'm just saying, I'm not saying you have, just saying. Maybe you know somebody who has and you're gonna say, ah, ha, 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 Saturn's transiting their 7th house, they're gonna get it, right? So if you know somebody who's been treating you poorly with Saturn transiting their 7th house, you can rest and relax and know that they're gonna get their karma. If you yourself have been doing this and mistreating people, not treating your friends appropriately and taking more than you give, being imbalanced or taking advantage of people or using people or whatever it may be, you can find that people will come into your life doing the same things to you, okay? And you'll know when this happens, you'll start to say, oh, or people will start cutting you off, withdrawing from you, disappearing from you, and you find yourself alone. But really what's happening is that you are finally seeing things for what they really are, because Saturn peels the veil off of illusions. And sometimes we can be delusioned about how we are. We think we're so great, and all of a sudden we go, you know, I really wasn't all that great. I thought I was. I don't know. I didn't know. And that happens too, because a lot of the planetary influences are subconsciously influencing us and our behavioral patterns. And until we actually stand outside of ourselves and take a look, we don't really realize some of the things. That's why these transits bring them about, to help refine us, make us better people. So Saturn being karma, if you've been taking advantage of people, they can sue you, okay? Partnerships. If you weren't careful about who you got into a business partnership with, you can suddenly find out they've been stealing money from you or something like that. If you were just like nonchalant about it, okay? If you were really selective about it and you picked somebody that was mature and reliable and stable and all this stuff, then there's not going to be any issues. See, Saturn doesn't bring bad luck to you or bad people to you. These are choices you made that he's suddenly making you aware of, okay? That's really what's happening. So Saturn is going to test your relationships, testing you in your relationships, and also testing the people in your life, and also making you aware of the weakest links, also making you see things through a more matter-of-fact way, more balanced way, and realistic view of people and things. Now, if you're not in a relationship, Saturn can make you seriously consider thinking about wanting to be in a relationship, because Saturn is very dry planet. Makes you kind of feel dry, a little alone, kind of cold, you know, so you want that partnership if you're single. And you might start looking for a partner. You might take it, you might be seriously going, I really want to find a partner. Now, whether or not you find one, again, depends on your karma. Everything depends on your karma, because Saturn is a planet of karma, and he just brings about what it is you've earned. Now, if you've been really good in your relationships and you've been somebody that's been giving a lot more than you've been getting back, you might withdraw a little bit and say, you know what? No, I want more. I want balance. I've earned this, you know, and you can end up meeting your soulmate. You can end up meeting a partner that you're going to be very happy with. But often they're karmic relationships or lessons that need to be learned, but not always. People have gotten married and stayed married forever. People have gotten married and divorced in 2 years when the transit, 2.5 years when the transit was over, and learned a lot about relationships through that relationships, because it's all about learning. It's all about learning, evolving, expanding. Now, you can expect whatever it is that you've given out to happen in your 7th house of partnership. Some people get restrictions. They feel lonely. They don't date. They feel kind of like, oh man, I've been analyzing myself and I'm just been horrible, and I think I'm just gonna work through my issues. Some people are like, I really, really want to get a relationship, and they go out and they try to find a relationship and get attached, or find them meeting people that are Saturn, very serious, very business oriented, don't have a whole lot of time to spend with them, are busy working. So you have to have a mature, grown up relationship where it's not all consuming. It's not Pluto, although we're going to get there next, because Pluto also is playing an effect for you guys, right? It's not all intense Pluto, all or nothing. Right now I need intensity, I need passion, burn it to the ground. Saturn's very cool, calm, mature. He's like, you know, you got work to do. This needs to be an equal partnership. You cannot all be all consuming with each other. You need to value the person. You need to see things for what they really are. You need to understand that love and commitment is something that you want long term. Is this the right person? And in order to build a solid commitment, you both need to have lives. You both have to work on yourselves. You both have to, you know, whatever it is, it's about being in a mature relationship that's serious, which isn't always fun, because real life is like, you know, we got bills to pay, we got kids to raise, we got things to do. Whatever it is, it's a very serious, pragmatic approach to relationships. So you can lose friends, you can gain friends, you can get married, you could break up, all depending upon what it is that you know, if you're married to the wrong partner who hasn't been giving you, you know, hasn't been balanced, you could suddenly see this and say, you know what, this isn't working out. You have an opportunity to either work it out or to get out of the relationship. People do get divorced, people get married. It all depends. People that are single get into relationships, people that are in relationships break up. You're just gonna start seeing it for what it is. And it's gonna be a serious approach to relationships, no matter what. Now, Pluto is really, 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 really quite different. But Pluto is a bad boy. Now, Pluto wants intensity, okay? But first, let's talk a little bit about Pluto. Pluto, the best analogy I always use is like, it's an icy planet with volcanoes underneath. It's kind of like representing suppressed emotions, intense emotions, volcanic explosions, passion, right? But it's also the god of the underworld, taboo, intense sexual experiences, drama. I need drama in my life. Total opposite of Saturn. Saturn is like, everybody's cool and calm and serious. Everybody's just doing their work. This marriage is really fantastic, isn't it, honey? right? Did you take out the garbage? Did you pay the bills? Did you do this and that? You know, and it's like, oh, I just want some excitement. I need some passion. I want you to grab me. I want you to just, I think I'm going to start some drama. That's Pluto. Pluto is like, I'm going to start throwing things because I just want some drama. I need something. As you're sitting there on your computer with my Saturn relationship, I think I'm going to just start something. I'm going to act suspicious. I'm going to get on my phone and be like, you know, whatever it takes, right? Then your partner's like, what's going on? It's like, oh, nothing, just want to start some drama because I need to know you love me. I need to know you're passionate about me. I need to know you have feelings, right? That's just one example of what people can do under Pluto's influence. Another thing is Pluto's about power and control and domination negatively. And this is something you want to stay away from because when Pluto turns retrograde, that stuff backlashes. Okay, so you want to be very conscious, aware of the fact of whether or not you're being controlling, dominating, and manipulative. Because Pluto is about underhanded tactics, sneaky things. I mean, he's the god of hell. He's not exactly upright, okay? He likes to tempt you too. So temptations can come in. People that, you know, appeal to your shadow. People that are more sexual, sensual, passionate, intense can come into your life, but they may not necessarily be the best people, okay? Pluto can tempt you because he's like the devil, right? Wants to tempt you. I'll give you all of this for a piece of your soul. Literally, Pluto relationships drag your soul through the mud, okay? Because you feel so intensely. You want it now. You want everything to be intense. But along with that drama comes burnt down houses, popped tires, all sorts of stuff. So you got to think about the consequences to this, okay? And sometimes even stalkers and threats and all sorts of drama that just, Saturn is like the father of time who said, you know, yeah, I tried that ages ago and you're going to regret it because you're going to end up paying unbelievable amounts to repair the damage that's done, whether it's through psychological, through psychiatry, mental help, because you just don't even know what the heck happened, or paying out dividends to fix and repair the broken stuff in your house. So these are just the examples of the two energies. So we're looking at completely different energies. Saturn's very serious, very structured, very, hey, just keep it cool, man. I'm telling you, Pluto, you start that stuff, you're gonna regret it. Right? So Pluto intensifies. He wants you to if you're somebody who's been passive in relationships and you've always been attracting people that have been controlling and bossing you around, Pluto's going to empower you. And you're going to be able to stand up for yourself and say, no, I need what I need. But you got to watch out for getting tempted down that snake path of that, you know, it's good, you know, to experience and explore, of course, you know, different things, but you got to watch out and really start thinking about, is it really that important that I have this, you know, darker, seedier person in my life right now, you know, and I'm not talking about darker, like bad, like, you know, black hair or whatever. I'm just talking about somebody that's just, you have a vibe about them, but you're just mysteriously drawn to them and you're like, I don't know if I could trust them, but I'm kind of just severely just interested in them, because that person can end up turning your world upside down. Okay, and I've seen it so many times with Pluto in the 7th. You have to be careful about who you get involved with, because although it's tempting on the outside and it's mysterious and you're suddenly interested in, like, I just want something intense, I'm gonna start drama, I'm going to play games. I'm going to try to, you know, get this person jealous. I'm going to push them away and make them chase me. And I'm going to have all this like cat and mouse stuff going on. And it's fun to feel wanted and to have this happening. And I've seen this so many times. Everybody's like, oh, you know, they feel so full of themselves with Pluto. It's like, I'm in charge. I'm going to break up with you so that way you run after me. And I'm going to do this and that to you so that way I have this intense experience. But then all of a sudden their life is turned upside down and it's crazy. They made somebody crazy and the person's crazy and they're attacking them, and I mean all sorts of stuff. This is the highly negative side of it, okay? You can attract abusers, people that manipulate you, people that steal your money, people that take advantage of you, mentally abuse you, physically abuse you. Okay, Pluto's bad. He's powerhouse, plutonium, okay, explosive. But can also be, because he's an invisible god, can also be very subversive, and you don't really know what's happening. You're just suddenly in this whirlwind of chaos, and you're like, what happened? Oh no, But the number one thing is to watch your own behavior, because a lot of it is that you're drawing it in. You are showing your shadow to other people. You are becoming more Pluto, okay, yourself, to where you're causing all this drama and you don't realize it because the planets are influencing us subconsciously, okay? Where we don't really know half the time. I've told people, you know, you're going to have Saturn square your Venus and you're probably going to be a jerk. Oh no, now that I know it, I'm not going to do it, and they still are, because they can't. The influence is so powerful. So you have to really be aware. You have to really look at yourself and say, am I being demanding and difficult and causing drama? Am I doing this to you know, am I gonna like the effects? Cause and effect. Remember, cause and effect. That's so important. That's what Saturn teaches us. Saturn says, if you do that, think about the consequence. And are you gonna like it? That's why Saturn goes slow, right? But Pluto is like, now. I want it now, and I want all of it. And I want you to obsess about me, and I want to be in control of you, and I'm going to tell you what to do, and I want to boss you around. And ooh, I feel so powerful, right? So if you are not being influenced by this and you are not the one behaving this way, you can attract other people that are like this in your life too. And you can end up getting into situations, doing things that you never would have thought in a million years you'd do, okay? So you want to watch for pushing and causing drama. You also want to watch from other people coming into your life that are super sexy, usually super sexy, super mysterious, super controversial, super all sides, just super, okay? And that's okay. You could also meet your soulmate. You could meet somebody who's intensely passionate about you, would die for you, okay? And that's a beautiful thing. But really being aware is the number one thing. Being truly aware, really not getting swept away, really not getting magnetized down that dark, black, mysterious hole, okay, where there's a bomb waiting. You want to be like, okay, what am I really feeling from the situation? And you want to also be cautious of causing the drama yourself, okay? That's the truth. I've seen people turn total control freaks with Pluto transiting their 7th house of partnerships. Suddenly they feel like, you know, I need to be in control. I've been bossed around, whatever. And that may be the case, but use it wisely. Use it wisely. Trust me on this, okay? Pluto also is the investigator, okay? And he also is our shadow self. And when he transits, he can expose. And that's one of the things that a lot of people don't really think about or realize, okay? A lot of the times when Pluto's transiting house, that's when a lot of people get exposed of their bad deeds or behind the scene deeds or hidden deeds, okay? Or things that you thought you got away with, okay? Any manipulation or theft or sneaky or whatever stuff you've done in your partnership house, you have to be careful, because Pluto is the investigator. He will find it and he will expose it, no matter what it is, okay? You will see this behavior coming through other people as well, okay? So if you were too controlling and bossy and manipulative with people in your life, you can come across a lot of people that are going to be that way with you. If there's something that you have hidden, because it's a house of hidden things that you thought you got away with, something sneaky, something whatever, could be online, could be on your computer, could be whatever, all of a sudden that pops up out of the blue. Pluto just exposes it, okay? I know it can be scary. It's kind of like, what do I have hidden? What have I, you know, what on earth? But usually it comes through other people. Other people will call you out, expose you, people will investigate you, people will stalk you, people will do all sorts of stuff. All of a sudden, this is other people, this is relationships, partnerships, people that are close to you. People can suddenly blow up on you. Lawsuits can come. This is business partnerships, okay, where people try to use power struggles over you and they use underhanded tactics with you. People that you're dating, you can get hooked up in and they can do something to you. I mean, you have to be really careful, okay? You have to be very careful with Pluto. And with Saturn and karma, you're looking at a double whammy on all of this, okay? But if you've been living upright and you've done your best and you've been a decent human being and you've made a few mistakes here and there or whatever, Saturn's going to build your relationships and Pluto's going to give you personal power. And he's going to introduce you to people with power, people with money, people with power, people that can help leverage you. There's a positive and a negative side. And I said it all depends on your karma. So only you know what that is. Okay, if you get real with yourself and you go, okay, what do I have coming to me? Okay, now you can, like I said, your relationships will transform. the way that you go about your relationships will transform. Okay, you're going to learn a lot about yourself through other people is what happens. And then you change and you say, I'm seeing all this stuff, all my skeletons are out, and now I just want to just be a decent human being because I can't stand all this other outside stuff that's happening to me. Okay, now Pluto is death and rebirth. The old you could die in relationships the way your relationships have been, and you could start approaching relationships differently and partnerships differently. It can actually be a literal death of somebody close to you. It can be. It's not always. It's very rarely the case. But if somebody is sick or struggling or something like that, you do want to try to spend as much time with them as possible just in case. But it's not really about that. It's really about you using your own personal power to set proper boundaries with people, you putting in the effort that it takes, you realizing who you've been in relationships and the part and the role that you've played, and you reaping the karma, cause and effect, law of cause and effect for your actions is what's going to happen. And every time the planet goes retrograde is when you're going to pay that karma. So Pluto may push you while it's direct to be super powerful, to be causing drama, to do, get involved in shady or seedier types of things or whatever. But when it goes retrograde, all this can blow up because Pluto's just, it's all about temptation and then smack. Really, come on, he's the devil, he's the god of hell, he's the god of Hades. He's there, he's the adversary to tempt you into something, and then, it's a trick. It's a trick, or it's something that's gonna leave you feeling, like, I wish I didn't do it, okay? I wish I didn't go there. But they're gonna be lessons learned. So even if you do, it's okay, it's lessons learned. It's gonna help you in your evolution. You're gonna learn a lot about yourself through it. But otherwise, positively, like I said, you're gonna transform. You can meet the love of your life. You can get married. A lot of people get married with Pluto and Saturn, both, okay? Again, it depends on your karma. It depends on how you've handled your relationships up until now. If people start acting super powerful towards you or start manipulating you or start stalking you or start all this stuff, you're gonna have to set proper boundaries. If you've been acting that way towards people and you start seeing the reflection in others towards you, you're gonna learn a lesson and you're gonna refine your partnerships. You're gonna build relationships with people that are better, more in line with you, that are better for you. You're gonna start viewing things more realistically, and you're gonna learn a lot of lessons. You're gonna evolve in relationship areas. And for those of you that have, done the right thing in relationships or have put a lot of effort into relationships and you have good karma coming, this is a fabulous time for you. This is a very fabulous time for you. You're gonna love this transit. You can meet your soulmate. You're gonna meet the love of your life. You're gonna have good things coming to you, strong partnerships. It's gonna be a really positive transit for y'all. So this is just a quick rundown because it's dual energy, it's super karma, okay? And karma is both good and bad. So if you are worried about karma and you've done good things, don't be. It's gonna be good karma. If you haven't been, then that's just the law. That's just the universal law of the planets. It's like you're gonna get what you give. And that's why, we always say, do unto others as you want done unto yourself, because essentially you are doing it to yourself. And that's what Saturn and Pluto are about, being karmic planets, is that what you do will come back to you. So it's just a good message for all of us to try to be the best people we can be, no matter what, anyway. So I'm sending you guys lots of love. I hope you guys found this helpful. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll be doing other videos like this about a lot of other things. I've been doing a lot of tarot readings and astrology. I'm gonna do more astrology videos, a lot more. So keep an eye out for that. If you haven't subscribed, please do, but be sure to click the bell to get notified of my uploads as they come. And again, thanks so much for joining me. If you'd like your own personal reading, you can visit my site at www.illumastrology.com. Thank you. Until next time.